Hello, my name is Jon Witt, and this is a short video based on how to improve the flexibility, mobility of the lower body. So it's for knee flexion. There's a couple different ways that I like. I'm going to show one, and then I'll make another video on the second one. The first one is that you'll just need a block, and you're basically going to be on the floor and sitting. But a big part of getting you down on the ground is really going to help in mobilizing the foot. So just be on the front of your foot. The front of my foot's splayed, it's flat, and my heel is up. And then when you're here, just see how much weight you have in your big toe, see how much weight you have in your little toe. It's not necessarily incorrect if you have weight in one part of your foot more than the other, but you're probably going to go where you already have more strength and flexibility. So I'm bringing more weight into my big toe. Just for me, that's what I need to do. But then I'm just going to lower the heel and elevate the heel. So this is the basic way of getting the foot to move. But then if I can, I'm going to be moving my foot or my leg in space. My foot stays flat. The front of the foot stays flat, but I'm mobilizing the ankle, and then I'm rotating in. So just some motion initially is good, but if you could do a minute in each direction, that's what you can do. I'm just going to cut it short just so that you know what to use. And then I'm bringing the left heel up, and I'm rather than just giving you something to follow along, get a sense of how much your foot can actually take in these types of positions. But this is like the basic level of getting the foot to be more pliable. So I'm lowering the heel and elevating the heel, right? You know, what you need for walking, going up and down stairs. So that should move very fluidly, but then I'm going to be moving my leg in space, which is really going to put more stress on the foot. And if you already have something going on in your knee, you got to be careful with how much range you're actually using. But like I said, the more you can manipulate the foot, the better off the knee will function. So then I'm just coming back in the middle. So another way that you could do this is I'm just moving the weight into the outsides of my feet and then moving it back in. Now I'm lifting the outsides of my feet, and most of the weight's on the interior of my foot. So I'm going to do that again, and then in, and then out. So really basic, but just getting the foot to move more is a good starting point. Say you couldn't come down on the ground, you couldn't do this on the floor. But I'm going to sit in a Virasana position, so I'm sitting on a block. Now, if you don't sit very well in this position, you could sit on the highest level. And if you're supinated in your feet, this probably isn't the best position for you to start in. So that's something I could help you with in a completely different way. But I'm here, and if I'm on the highest point of the block's pretty narrow. So most likely you can't touch your feet to the block, and that's okay. But getting the feet to come in is a part of sitting well in this position. But what people, they fall out into the outsides of the feet. This is really common. The outside of the shoe kind of wears out. So getting the legs to hug in so that you're able to sustain that, right, when you stand and when you walk. But if I can, this is a good starting point. I'd start with 30, 60 seconds, and then maybe this is all that you're doing. But if you can come up, right, and down, right, you can come up and down off the block. But when you're coming down, you're controlling it so there's tension, and that can help stretch out the tissues, right? It could be lower, right? If I'm on the lowest setting, or the second setting, these are slightly lower, but start out at a level that's a little challenging for you, and then over time you can increase that. So I'm coming up, and then I'm bringing myself slowly down, and then coming up, slowly coming down. And I'm not on a really soft surface here, but you should be if this is difficult. Like even like our like a really dense bed or like a futon mattress, those are great. You know, grass is really good, but in weight bearing, this will help in increasing the knee flexion. Right, this is something that I think is you want to get back. And I've done in other videos, walking backwards is really, really great for the knees. I'm just going to change the height as you sit here longer, say it's comfortable, again, within the parameter of a minute or two, right? But I'm going to come up and then I'm coming down, right? Bringing it up and then bringing it down. And you could do like 5-10 repetitions to start with. I like more frequency, like more spread out than just doing a whole lot of one thing or a number of things all in one shot, because you could, especially with inflammation or pain, is that you very well could do too much. So I'm coming off the block. Just to give you a counter here is I'm going to stretch my legs forward and I'm pointing through the feet and I'm flexing the feet and I'm pointing and I'm flexing and I'm pointing and I'm flexing. And now that your feet are forward, you may notice that one foot has more redness to it. That may mean that you're leaning to that side more, or that side actually folds better, and that's partially why you have more weight there. Could be a spine difference in terms of, you know, maybe your spine's a little skewed to one side. That's common, and it shouldn't be alarming, but it's just, you know, it could give you some insights as far as why your legs feel the way that they do or they function the way that they do. So I'm just going to sit cross-legged. You could sit on a higher surface. So I hope that short little video helped you. You could let me know how it goes. But being patient and being really honest with how much range you actually can take is so important. And don't rush it, but over time you can increase. For most people, you can increase it. You know, there are exceptions. There's bone differences with people. So not everybody can get into these certain positions, but most people are more likely. All right, I hope it helped.